Okay, we're doing the review for the quiz on Unit 3, which is functions, okay? So I want to complete the graph to make this function odd. So I look at each point, and to make it odd, remember odd means opposite. So if I look at this blue line, if you have to go up to 3, the opposite of that would be going down 3. So down 3. And to the left 3, the opposite would be to the right 3. So if I connect those, that's the opposite of that blue line. If I look at that green dot that you see, that's to the left 3 and up 4. So the opposite would be to the right 3 and down 4. So that would be the green dot you see there. And then if I look at that orange, I've got a closed circle at 4 left and 2 up. So 4 right and 2 down would be here. And then this open circle is 8 to the left and 4 up. So 8 to the left and 4 down would be right here. And if I connect those, I see that. So that makes this function odd, okay? Now the graph to the right, I'm looking to make the function even. So I'm looking for it to be symmetrical about the y-axis. So if you look here, this blue line, -3 away from the origin. So if I draw +3 away from the origin, I see that. I've got symmetry about the y-axis. If I look at that green dot that is left 3 and up 4, so if I go right 3 and up 4, I see that symmetrical point. And then if I look at that orange, it's to the left 4 and up 2, so right 4 and up 2 would be here. Left 8 and up 4, right 8 and up 4 would be right here. And we see this. Now I have an even function that is symmetrical about the y-axis, okay? Now, if I continue on, they're graphically giving me functions and asking of me if they are odd or even, okay? So function A is an even function. It is symmetrical about the y-axis. Function B is an odd function. Whatever it does on one side of the axis, it does the opposite. So function B is odd. Function C is neither. It's neither even nor odd, so it's not the same or symmetrical, and it's not an opposite on either side. Function D is even, and then function E is an odd function. Whatever it does on one side, it's doing the opposite, and function F is neither, okay? So identifying functions being even or odd. Now, if I move into algebraically functions of even and odd, so if I look at number 4, if a function contains the point 7, -4, what point must also be on the function if the graph is even? So even means the same, so it means that if I look at -7, even means the same, then I'm going to have to get the same value. So -7, -4 needs to be on that graph if it's even. If it's odd, then I'm going to look for -7, and instead of getting the same value, I look to get the opposite value. So -7, +4 would be on the graph if it were odd, okay? And then question number 5, I'm algebraically asked to determine if a function is even, odd, or neither, okay? And remember, in all of these, we did the work, and we also came up with an explanation. So f of x is equal to 1 over x, okay? Then f of -x, just substitute a -x in for x, is -1 over x, okay? Is the function even? The function would be even if f of x and f of -x were equal. If these first two columns match, my function would be even. So I know immediately my function is not even, and it is not even because f of x does not equal f of minus x. So I know it's not even. So I've got to go further. It could be odd. So let's try to figure that one out. So negative f of x is just going to be sticking a negative sign in front of f of x equal 1 of x. So remember, f of x is 1 over x. So if I stick negative in front of f of x, that's also a negative there. So negative f of x is equal to negative 1 over x. Okay, so now if I look at these columns, negative f of x and f of negative x, these are equal. So this function is odd, and the reason it is odd is because f of negative x equal negative f of x. So remember our procedure, if these two columns match, that's when I had an even function. If these two columns match, that's when I had an odd function. So that's when you can tell if it's even or odd, and your explanation is just looking at the headings, okay? If the first two columns match, it's even, the second two, it's odd. So why is it odd? You look at the last two columns, f of negative x equal minus f of x. Why is it not even? F of x does not equal f of negative x, okay? That's the end of page 1 of the review.